Popping in just to give you a little review lesson on CSET, which is the argumentative structure that we use to write our body paragraphs. All right, this is the PowerPoint that we use to help us write the Odyssey essay, and the body paragraphs for the Other Wes Moore essay is going to be the exact same. Now remember, the most important thing I can teach you is how to be persuasive and convincing to help you get what you want. And this structure will not fail you in that regard. So for CSET, the C is for claim. That is what you are stating and proving. It's the main idea of the paragraph, and it's often your topic sentence. The support, that's the S in CSET, and you further explain your claim by giving it context, which if you remember in your topic graphic organizer, you already have that in the what's going on box. Your evidence is obviously the quotations from the text that back up your claim, and you use TLQ to insert a quotation there. And then your tie-up, and we'll go over TLQ in a second. Your tie-up is to explain how your quotation proves your claim. So your tie-up is probably the trickiest but the most important part of CSET because that's what ties this entire paragraph together. It explains how your evidence supports your claim. So kind of going backwards, it ties it all together, which we'll do an example together. And for your Other Wes Moore essay, you only need to use CSET once. So we're only going to use one quotation from the text for each paragraph. This is an Odyssey argumentative paragraph that is diagrammed out and color-coded because you know I'm extra. For CSET, so you can press pause, read through this to help you see a claim, support, evidence, tie-up, structure for an example. So here's an explanation of TLQ. You might want to press pause again to read through this slide. So when you use quotations, you must first use a transitional phrase such as for example, or next, or therefore. This is called a transition. And secondly, you must first provide the context of the quote. So who's speaking and in what situation? This is called the lead-in, and the lead-in sets up the quote, which you've already got plenty of context there from your topic graphic organizer. And lastly, you're going to put in that quotation, which is direct evidence from the text, and remember that period goes after the page number. You just have a comma there in the quotation. So now we'll actually be looking at a student example paragraph for the Other Wes Moore essay. This one is an essay that is written on discipline, and I've actually included the thesis for this essay down here at the bottom because that's going to be really important whenever you are designing your claim. So remember, all of this comes from the evidence first. So if you're looking at your topic graphic organizer, you essentially already have your CSET information provided. You are going to get your claim from the My Thoughts section as well as your thesis. You are going to get your support from the which Wes and context box, and then you're going to get your evidence from the quotation from the text box. Then your tie-up, if you did your thoughts box well, is already in there waiting for you to pull out. So now let's see your evidence and your context, all the information that was in your topic graphic organizer put into actual sentence form. So the claim here is the lack of discipline in the Other Wes Moore's life led to bad decisions. The first thing you want to do whenever you're making sure that you have a good claim is that it ties into your thesis. Now, the thesis for this essay is through the lives of the Wes Moores, Moore reveals that discipline is the difference between failure and success, which is a really awesome thesis. And that claim plays right into it. It's showing that a lack of discipline in the Other Wes Moore's life is what led to his bad decisions. So I am going to diagram this so you can see the kind of the claim, support, evidence, tie-up, just like we did with the Odyssey essay. All right, here, our claim is going to be blue. So the lack of discipline in the other Wes Moore's life led to bad decisions. Now here's the support, which remember the support is what kind of further explains your claim. It gives your reader context to understand exactly what you're about to tell them and what evidence you're going to use. So for example, when Wes's mother found his stash of drugs, the only consequence he had was that she disposed of the drugs. She did not actually discipline him in any way. So that is some great context. Let me know exactly what's going on before they throw a quote at me. Because remember, you're writing this essay as if the person that is reading it has never read The Other Wes Moore. So that's going to be very helpful for them if you tell them what's going on in the story before you give them a quotation from the text. So we're going to do our support in green. So we have our claim, lack of discipline in the other Wes Moore's life led to bad decision. I'm supporting that claim. For example, when Wes's mother found his stash of drugs, the only consequence he had was that she disposed of the drugs. She did not actually discipline him in any way. And then you can see the TLQ here for my evidence. I have the transition as a result, and then the support, Wes says, and the quotation. He knew the streets would get him that money back and more, but next time he'd be smarter about where he kept the stash and how often he moved it around. Oops, the student forgot a comma there. That's okay. I can help them out. And then notice that they did a great job of putting that period there at the end after the page number. So we're going to do our evidence in yellow, and your evidence is just the quote from the book. And so after evidence, what comes next? Your tie-up. And remember, your tie-up shows how your evidence supports your thesis. Your claim, which supports your thesis. I was just getting ahead of myself. So the tie-up here, the author Moore is demonstrating through this example that because the other Wes was not properly disciplined when he did wrong, he did not learn from his mistakes and only continued to make mistakes. This ultimately led the other Wes down a path to becoming a drug dealer and associating with the wrong crowd of people. So this is an awesome tie-up because not only does it kind of tie together this CSET paragraph, it also gives us a concluding sentence that is going to transition us into the next paragraph, which based on this concluding sentence, we can see that a lack of discipline not only leads to bad decisions, but that bad decisions have a cyclical nature, and that's what led to other Wes's failure. So with this tie-up, which we'll do all of this in pink in a second, I want you to see that the tie-up actually kind of references each of the other sentences in this paragraph, each of the other parts of CSET. So here, the other Wes Moore is demonstrating through this example. It's literally by mentioning through this example, he's talking about the evidence that because the other Wes was not properly disciplined when he did wrong, this is literally referring back to the support, that he did not learn from his mistakes and only continued to make mistakes. So therefore, that's bringing us right back to the claim. So this tie-up did an awesome job of showing us how the evidence supports the claim, which is exactly what a tie-up should do. And this is going to be pink for us. All right, and then this final sentence is technically part of the CSET as well, as it ties up that paragraph and then helps us transition to the next one. So make sure that in your final sentence of this paragraph, you are accomplishing both of those goals. You're tying up the original paragraph and then transitioning to the next one to make your entire essay feel cohesive, which means glued together and like one piece where your ideas develop. You're not repeating the same thing over and over again. They're becoming more and more developed, and you're getting to your final point of your essay. All right, that does it for our CSET review. Good luck, guys.